Yes.
Well, hey, I'm Matt Steen, and thanks for checking this out. This is another chemistry conversation, and joining me again today is my dear friend Nikki Lerner. Nikki is a culture coach. She's an artist. She's a speaker, and she is all around amazing. I think that's fair to say. Nikki, her passion in life is really helping people move from a monocultural life to a multicultural life in the way that they work, they do life, and is just doing a phenomenal job, coaching churches on how to do this well, right? So, Nikki, thanks for taking some time to talk.
Hey, glad to be here. Glad to be with all of your watchers and listeners and your people.
Nice. Well, it's great to have you. It
Thank
really is. So this is just a weird time. Okay, started off with COVID, which seems like it was like 8 months ago, but I think it
No,
was like
remember
last week,
COVID?
right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But now we're kind of in a season where things are a little more racially charged than we like them to be. Um, here's an awkward question that a lot of people, whether they're expressing this or not, it's there, and it's this. For those of us that are in the predominantly white church world,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that we need to know in order to serve well in this season? Is that an unfair question?
No,
That's a relief.
it's it's a great place to start. The first thing to know is that the first person that you need to pastor is yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I used to tell my teams all the time that, when you show up to church, that the best thing that you bring is a fully submitted you
Ooh.
to Christ,
Ooh.
and I led a worship ministry. So I'm like, I don't care about how good you can sing or play a guitar, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the best thing you bring is you.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing, is you need to know that as leaders, we need to pastor ourselves first.
Yeah.
Ask yourself the hard question first.
Yeah.
And get into the things, even the things that you are struggling with right now, and try not to judge it. Because as soon as we start judging the reality about what is inside of us, sometimes it actually hinders us from probing and going any deeper, and then allowing the Spirit of Christ to transform us. So that's the first thing. Just know that, we have to pastor ourselves first and love ourselves first before we try to love other people. The second thing I would say is, in order to serve well, you have to make a commitment to be present. And don't underestimate the ministry of presence.
Yeah.
In a time like this, usually what people need is your physical presence, your emotional presence. People usually don't necessarily need your opinions right now. It's okay to have them.
Yeah.
But they may not need them right now. If they ask, that's different.
Yeah.
That may not be what they need. They may not need even your attempt to explain something, or even your need to process.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would just encourage you, in order to serve people, just know how powerful you just showing up.
So
Sitting with someone, how powerful presence is.
So this sounds like almost like we should be approaching this almost like a funeral.
Oh.
Yes. The last thing somebody needs at a funeral is somebody coming up and saying, you know what, they're in a better place.
Yes. Yes. Or like, God needed another angel.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, yes. There's so much to say about that, Matt. But I think you're right. It's sort of like, I talk about this in a course that I teach. It's sort of like, if I broke my arm, mm-hmm. and you're my friend, and I came to you and I said, oh man, like I broke my arm, and you're like looking at the cast like this, and you're like, do you have an X-ray on you?
Yeah.
That's that's kind of somehow sometimes the culture we live in
Yeah.
is, you know, I'll be present with you or find or have compassion for you in service once I understand it and once I get it.
Right.
And in order to serve well, remember, serving is about the other person.
Hmm.
Just to remember how powerful our presence is. If we believe, as people that follow Jesus, that the fullness of the Spirit of Christ is within us,
Yeah.
then think about what we have when we show up and what we are bringing.
Yeah.
We are bringing the Spirit of Christ in its fullness
Yeah.
that lives inside of us. So we need to just remember, as Jesus people, how powerful that is to just show up.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. So we show up, we pastor ourselves, we show up, but there's a lot of people that are listening to this and they're sitting there and they're saying, yeah, but I got to do something. I got to do something. What can I do? Right. I mean, you've got people in mind who you're thinking, you know, they want to do something. So what do
Yeah.
you say to them?
Yeah. Well, here's what is encouraging me
Mm-hmm.
about when we are recording this in June of 2020
Yes.
is that we no longer have to say, I don't know what to do,
Hmm.
because we do. And what I mean by that is, particularly now, I mean, there have been more people speaking up about what's happening against human beings,
Yeah.
more than ever. And not only just majority culture folks, but non-majority culture folks. I mean, there has been a generosity, if you think about it, a generosity of information that non-majority folks in the country have been sharing online and in
Yeah.
social media and all blogs and all these things. And so literally, if you need to know what to do, Google it. Like that's a really easy low-hanging fruit, and you can Google how to support someone in a time like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something you can do. Or hopefully, again, if you are cultivating a multicultural life, start with the people right around you. You know,
Yeah.
start with the people at your church. And maybe you're at a mostly white American church and you got like two black families, or, you know, one
Yeah.
Chinese family at your
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
Reach out. And it could be as simple as a check-in, a text, an email. How you doing? How can I serve you?
Mm-hmm.
That actually goes a long way, again, because it points to presence, right? Because if we say that we are a community, if we say we are a family within the church, then this is what family does.
Yeah.
We check on each other
Yeah.
when things are in crisis, right? So just know that's something very tangible that you can do. Go check on somebody, send a text, send an email, send a card, send somebody a gift card for Grubhub.
Yeah.
I don't know, something. And then if you need to learn yourself, and there are lots of resources online right now,
Yeah.
for people to know how to get involved, how to do something today, a great book to read, an article. Like, it's all there. It's kind of
Yeah.
like when we say, I don't know how to lose weight. Yes, you do. Right? Like, we all know how to lose weight.
Yeah.
The issue often is we don't want to,
Yeah.
or we're not ready to.
Or we're not ready to do the work.
We're not ready to do the work, or we're uncomfortable. And I think we need to get to a place where we're willing to be that honest with
Yeah.
ourselves, so that we can move from where we are into the next step of who we are becoming, in the area of multicultural ministry, social justice, racial reconciliation, all of
Yeah.
those areas.
That's awesome. Nikki, I want to honor the time commitments. And so rather than going all the places that I want to go, encourage us. What's one thing that you're coming out of this season with feeling really encouraged by?
I am very encouraged by the multicultural movement of people
Mm.
right now. What we are I think as Americans, peacefully protesting um, are egregious acts against human beings.
Mm.
It's not just, the culture group I come from is primarily getting the brunt of some things.
Yeah. And I think it's,
However, it's very important for us to have a sense of collectiveness,
yes.
that this is a human, this is a human rights um, issue that we don't have to be afraid of in the church. I mean, Jesus was not afraid of these things.
Yeah.
And so that is actually encouraging me that people are finding their courage, they're finding their bravery to speak out and to speak up and to learn and to march and to, I mean, I'm not sure I have ever seen a time in my 40 some years of life that I have felt more like, oh my gosh, look at all these people that are with us.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. I just saw a video the other day on Instagram of a 200,000 person peaceful protest in France. I mean,
Yeah.
what in the
Yeah.
world?
Yeah.
That is very, very encouraging to me. That, it hasn't just become about the plight of one type of person. This
Yeah.
is a human issue
Yeah.
that we are literally fighting our lives for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Nikki, thank you.
You are so welcome. Anything for you, Matt Steen.
Oh, shucks. Everybody right now needs to stop watching this and go, we'll wait until after I tell you what to go do. But needs to go to NikkiLerner.com. Great resources for church leaders there. I think probably the most appropriate for this season is the course that you're doing, 10 ways to respond to a racially charged event. I think
Yes.
Nikki, what I've always appreciated about Nikki is that she has a really graceful way to have hard conversations with people, which is really, really needed in a time where people are just kind of going at each other. And so go and buy one for all of your family and give them out as Christmas gifts and all that kind of stuff, but do it now. Nikki, thank you.
You're welcome. It's my joy.